Very well. Next, what kind of jobs do the people in your hometown do?
Yeah, as I know, most of them work as farmers because in that town there are still many fields. Besides that, they also uh, we can sells goods in the markets.
All right. Would you say it's a good place to live? Why or why not?
I think it's a good place for I live in the future because the the air in the town is still fresh and we can see many trees, so we can enjoy a beautiful view every morning. And
Nice. Mm-hmm. The what?
the place.
Exactly. Let's move on to talk about accommodation now, Mas Dimas. Tell me about the
Yes.
kind of accommodation you live in at the moment, please.
Yeah, uh, I live in a small house near in Bekasi, and there are cars and a motorcycle in my house. And if we go to the near city in Bekasi like Jakarta or Bogor, we can use our own car. Besides that, we can use a public transportation like a bus.
Mhm. And how long have you lived there?
Uh, I have been here since I was child. After we moved from Jakarta, I moved in the city and moved my kindergarten.
What do you like
And
about living there?
I live. I like to live here because the environment is good for living. Uh, we still can grow the trees, and besides that, the neighbors are very friendly and kind, so we can need some help from them.
I see. Last question in the first part. What sort of accommodation would you most like to live in the near future?
Mm, in my plan, oh, I hope I can get a bigger house, and because I want to add some rooms for my family, have planned to get a child, so we need a bedroom for our baby.
Very well. Thank you for telling me that. For telling me about your plan. That's it for the warm up for the first part. Before we go further on the second part, Mas Dimas, and the third part, I would like to ask you about your own opinion about your performance. What do you think about your own performance just now? Are you satisfied with your own answers?
Yes.
Yes, it's really good. Realize it or not, Mas Dimas, it's really good. I didn't record the first and the second questions, uh, but from the very beginning, your answers are grammatically correct, and it's really sufficient. It's not too short, but it's also not too long. However, yes, I have to compliment your fluency and your coherence. You directly and explicitly answer all of the questions straightforward, uh, without blunder, without running the bush. And also your fluency is always the same. It's really consistent. It's just the way you speak, slowly but surely, no problem. And also lexical resource, you were trying to paraphrase some words from the questions. Very nice. And your pronunciation is getting better and better, I think. However, I also noticed several grammatical errors, but it's really, really minor compared to the previous one. So your performance is getting better. How come? May I know why? How come your performance is getting it has been improved so well? Did you practice outside of the class?
Yeah, read a lot.
Ah, I see. So you read a lot of. What do you read?
Your material.
I see. On our Google Classrooms.
Yes.
I see. Okay, but for example, the minor error that I noted from your verbal production are like, for example, when I ask you about, would you say uh, it's a good place to live in, referring to your hometown? Why or why not? Your opening was like, I think it's a good place for I to live.
Me.
Yes, exactly. For me to live. Okay, it's an object. So you don't use I as the subject, you use me as the object. Other than that, I forgot. Wait a second. Oh my god, I should have taken notes for that. Next time I'm gonna be taking notes for the mistakes that I found. But overall, your first part is really wonderful. Well done. Keep it up. Congratulations.
Sorry,
Next.
Mas.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the last question about the accommodation.
Mhm.
Is it talking about house or transportation or anything else?
Okay, so what is the definition of accommodation actually? What is accommodation? What do you know about accommodation? What does it mean in
Like
Indonesian word?
hotel or something?
Yes, accommodation means shelter, a place to live in,
A
a place to
place. Okay.
stay, a place to settle down. Accommodation is a place to sleep, a place to stay. So it's like a hotel, it can be an apartment, it can be a flat, it can be a private house, a family house, whatever, a villa.
Okay.
It's a different case with transportation. So accommodation and transportation are two different things. All right.
Okay.
I'm not asking you. I was not asking you about transportation. I'm asking you about your, uh, your dream house. So the question was, what sort of accommodation? What kind of accommodation would you most like to live in the future? It's about your dream house. And you actually already answered the question by saying that I would like to live in a bigger house because you want to have a baby, right?
Yes.
Exactly. All right. Any more questions?
No, no.
Additions? Objections? All clear?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Please prepare a piece of paper and a
Yes.
pen and a pencil, please.
Okay, Mas.
Thank you. Okay. Are you ready for the next part? Okay, cool. IELTS speaking part 2, it's about individual long term. We have talked about this, we have discussed, and we have practiced a lot previously. In the second part of the test, you will be given a candidate task card, which is a card like a cue card that contains a particular topic or task, including 3 up to 4 details or questions, right? So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna share with you my screen showing your cue card. I want you to describe something you own, which is very important to you, Mas Dimas. Can you see my slide?
Yeah.
Yes, you should say where you got it from, how long you have had it, what you use it for, and explain why it is important to you. Okay? You will be given 1 minute allocated time to digest the questions and then discuss according to the task from the card for 1 to 2 minutes. Your 1 minute to take notes start from now. Good luck. All right, the time is up. Please stop writing now. You have 1 to 2 minutes to speak about a topic to answer all the questions. You may start speaking now.
Okay, today I'm gonna be talking about the useful stuff for me, and it is a laptop. And I have I have bought my laptop um, since 2 years ago, and I bought it in a store in a mall, and then I bought it because uh, I need a laptop for to helping me to work in the office. Uh, Besides that, since pandemic, laptop is very useful and important for me because there are many online meetings every day, and uh, although it is important for me, um, it costs me an arm and a leg because the price is more than 10 million rupiah. Besides helping me to work, uh, it's very important for me to do other activities like watching movies or uh,
All right, the time is up. Thank you so much. All right. What do you think about your performance just now, Mas Dimas? Are you satisfied? Are you happy with your own answers?
yes, not bad.
Do you think you have answered all the questions?
I think yes.
Have you answered all the questions given?
I think yes.
Yes, exactly. So that's why you deserve 7 for your coherence and your fluency. It again, it's really consistent, slowly but surely. I really love it. So your fluency and your coherence in this task, I think it's you deserve 7. What about your lexical resource? What do you think about your own lexical resource performance just now?
Sometimes some words repeat, repeating some words.
Pardon?
Ada beberapa kata yang diulang.
Repetitive words. I
Ya,
think it's okay. For example, like what?
important,
Important, yeah. Use,
go, ya,
but I know you already know how to paraphrase use with.
yes,
How can you paraphrase use with?
do,
How do you paraphrase use with?
useful,
Uh, the verb menggunakan synonyms.
like,
How do you say menggunakan in English selain use?
I don't know,
I know you know the word. You told me previously.
pick up,
Utilize.
utilize, okay,
Yes, you can say utilize. I utilize my laptop for many purposes, actually. Number one, first and foremost, I have been utilizing my laptop for, of course, my work and my professional work and my studies. On top of that, I'm also using my laptop for entertainment purposes. For example, watching Netflix, watching YouTube tutorials or videos, and just for reading ebooks, for example. Okay. What about important? How can you paraphrase it with? What can you paraphrase it with?
useful,
Useful, boleh. Significant, crucial, essential, vital, exclusive. There are so many synonyms for important, yes? Vital. Okay. But I think your lexical resource was okay. And it's really good because you mentioned one idiomatic expression, which was cost me an arm and a leg, which means
expensive,
expensive, not affordable, cost me a fortune. Very well. You know how to use it in a suitable context. So well done for that. But I hope that in the next time you can paraphrase the questions as well, and also the motion or the topic. You actually already paraphrased it with, I'm gonna be talking about my
useful
useful
stuff,
useful stuff. I think it can be narrate it can you can narrow it down to, what do you call a laptop? Another word for laptop.
gadget,
Gadget or device, right? So you can say something like, I'm gonna be talking about a useful gadget or device in my life, and it would be my laptop. And you could have said about the brand of the laptop just to elaborate your reason, and then yada, you can go to the next questions. I think it's okay, but I think you can still maximize it, your lexical resource. That's why I think you deserve 6.5 to 7 for your lexical resource. And your pronunciation is also audible, clear, and understandable. And grammatical wise, regarding grammar wise, I would say it's also okay, although there's some uh few mistakes again which I didn't write down because it's too fast, but you can see from the recording after this. Okay, I'm gonna share with you the link of your recording so you can watch our sessions and your performance if you want to make sure, and if you want to analyze your errors. But overall, it's really great. Uh, I'm also confident to give you 7 for this performance. Okay. Okay. So you have achieved uh, a prediction score about 7 for your first part and second part. Hopefully, you can be consistent for your uh, third part. Are you ready for the next part, the last or the final part?
Okay. Yes.
Remember, this is still warm up. Yes, we haven't started the real simulation. All right. Talking about part three, it it is like two-way discussion, right? Like I explained to you, like we discussed previously, it's the questions are more likely critical and analytical questions because it's an academic discussion. In this part, you will expand the topics in part two to discuss with the examiner or the interviewer. Here, you should be able to hold an interactive session of questions and answers while explaining the supporting points of your views and opinions. Okay, I'm gonna give you the examples of the questions for the part three. Let's begin. Let's consider first of all how people's values have changed, Mas Lina. What kind of things give status to people in your country?
Uh, I think that uh, some people uh, give other person values based on their wealth. For example, if um, if they are rich, um, other people will give high value for them and give some privilege for them. And then beside that, some people judge other people based on their job. If you have a better job like businessman or work as government, I work in the government or institution, you will get uh, some privilege too in the neighbor or in the environment.
Okay. So are you saying that the level or the quantity of people's wealth and the quality of people's jobs are the two things that give status to people in Indonesia, right?
Yes,
Now I'm wondering, Mas Dimas, have things changed since your parents' time about this matter, about status? Have those things changed between in the past and nowadays?
as far as I concerned, uh, it doesn't change for present and the past. Example, in the past or my parents' era, if you have a well job like in the governmental institution. You can get privilege from the society. You
Mm.
can have you could have like your children could enter the to the study in the school easily, and it is happen to now. uh, if you have uh, some money, you can apply to a better school. So other people will judge you and give you high status.
Very well. Uh, why do you think that, it hasn't changed at all? Why do you think that Indonesian people or people in your country, the society in your country, uh, are still, respecting those kind of status?
Uh, to my mind, it, it is caused by the culture, and you have to the respect the older people, especially you have to respect to people who have uh, high status, like for example in the Jogja, the people in Jogja must respect their king and must follow the instruction of the king.
Very well.
So yeah.
Okay. Finally, let's talk about the role of advertising. Mas Dimas, do you think advertising influences what people buy?
Yes, I absolutely agree with the opinion, because the informative advertising can uh, cause other people to buy something. For example, nowadays younger people have a passion to buy a trendy device like mobile phone because of the advertisement advertisement of them. They watch the advertisement from TV or internet, and they have a needs to buy the mobile phone, the use the mobile phone. So I believe that the advertisement can attract people to buy their uh, their their gadget.
I see. Thank you so much for your answers for the last part, for this warm up, Mas Dimas. Uh, okay, so what do you think about your performance in part three?
Heavy topic.
Pardon?
To the topics are heavy.
Yes, the questions, of
Yeah, the
course,
question.
it's gonna be heavy, just like the other questions in part three. But yeah, I noticed that you were thinking a lot. You were thinking so hard to answer the questions. You're also, looking for some words, translating some words in your mind, but I salute your efforts to use to implement the RL method that we have discussed, you always bring up the examples, and it's just really smooth because it uh you know uh it makes your answers longer, right? uh, and it sounds very elaborative when you add some examples, concrete evidence in your answers, and that's just really cool. Although there are still, much fillers and thinking hesitation and grammatical errors, but I feel like your answers in part three now is much much better compared to your previous performance. So good job for that, but I cannot give seven for you in this uh performance just because uh you know your voice is really low. I don't know, because maybe we are in the Zoom meeting, but I couldn't catch several answers, several sentences, not words, but even sentences. And also I cannot see your lips moving. That's why I cannot predict what actually you were talking about, while your volume is very low as well. So maybe it's gonna be your homework for our final simulation. Please show your lips moving and just speak loud as you can. Yeah, because I just want to ensure your pronunciation, because it's if it's not audible, if it's not clear in my audio, what can I assess, right? There's nothing I can assess if I cannot hear what you are trying to say. So please be louder next time. Okay, I think enough for our stretching and warm up. Let's continue with the simulation, the final one. Please prepare a new piece of paper and a pencil. An empty white paper, please.
It was
Are you ready?
yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mas Dimas. Let's begin our final simulation. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you feeling today?
I feel great. How about you?
I'm very well. Thanks for asking. Welcome to the IELTS speaking simulation. My name is Haidir, and I'm gonna be your examiner for this test. What is your full name?
My name is Dimas Fajar Erongga.
Thank you. And what can I call you?
You can call me Dimas.
All right, Dimas. In the real test, you are supposed to show your ID. But since this is just a practice, we'll skip that part. Okay? Let's begin with the first part. Let's talk about animals. Dimas, do you have a pet?
Uh, Honestly, I don't have a pet, but my wife has a dogs in her house, and when I go to her house, I usually play with her dogs, and she has 5 dogs in her house.
Wow, that's a lot of dogs, don't you think?
Yes.
What types of animals do you think make the best pets?
Uh, in my opinion, after I play with my wife dogs, I think dogs is a best friend. and the best animal for for us to have a pet because dog has dog is loyal for its for us. For example, when I go to the my wife house, her dogs always runs to us after they see our car.
All right. Why do people have pets, you think?
In my mind, pets can become a best friend for us, and we can learn about manage pets. Um, we can learn about responsibility, and pets can be our soulmate if we
Yeah.
don't have
Mhm.
someone.
Very well. Next question. I would like to ask you about are there any types of animals that you think should not be kept as a pet?
Yeah, I think well, animals is not for our home because they are cannot to keep in the cage. They have to be free in the jungles like tigers or crocodiles. And I think best pet is like cats or dogs.
Understandably. All right, that's it for the first part. Let's move on to the second part. Please prepare a piece of paper and a pencil. Are you ready for your cue card?
Yes,
Okay. All right, Mas Dimas. I want you to describe, but can you see my slide?
yes,
Okay. I want you to describe a wild animal that lives in your country. You should say what animal it is, where it lives, how people feel about this animal, and explain if you think there will be more or fewer of this animal in the wild in the future and why. You have 1 minute to take notes. Start from now. All right, the time is up. Please stop writing now. Please stop writing. Okay, you have 1 to 2 minutes to speak about a topic and answer all of the questions. You may start speaking now.
Okay, I'm gonna be talking about wild species in Indonesia, which is Komodo. Komodo is a famous animal in Indonesia and in the world because it is one of dinosaurs. And it live in the island in the East Nusa Tenggara, and I have been there for 5 years ago, and I went there for a vacation, and I feel over the moon because I can meet the special species in Indonesia, and people, especially the tourists, feel happy because it's fair. It's extinct animals, and also fierce because it's a wild animal, and it is a carnivore animal. And I believe that in the future we will see fewer animal, especially a wild animal, because the habitats are lost year on year, and I believe we have to cost an arm and leg in the future because the the ticket for Komodo Island is expensive at this moment.
Thank you so much. The time is up. All right. Let's move on to the final part, which is the part three.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you general questions about the previous topic based on your cue card.
Okay.
First of all, let's talk about zoos. What is the purpose of having zoos, you think?
Um, I think the government has used for some reasons. Firstly, uh, they will keep the animals from the extinction. For, for example, in Solo, the government opens a new zoo, and so we can see wild animals like tiger or crocodile in that zoo. The other reason is that uh, we can uh, give information for our children about the animals.
All
For
right.
instance, okay,
Mhm.
we have to go to the Africa for looking the elephant, so we can see the elephant in the zoo.
I see. And what is your opinion about animals being kept in zoos?
In my mind, um, it helps uh, government or government to prevent the extinction of the animals because we can keep the animals uh, healthy in the zoo if we treat well, like like giving best meat for the tigers or the carnivorous animal, and, but it has it has a drawback because we we keep the animals in the cage, not in the free their habitats like in the jungles.
Mhm. So, based on your personal perspectives or stances, do you actually agree with Zeus or you totally disagree with Zeus?
In my opinion, I believe that the zoo is better um, habitat for the wild animals at this moment because we can keep them and prevent them from the extinction. Uh, so the scientists can study them and and help them to to increase the birth of the animals.
I see. Do you think is it important to conserve the world's animal species?
Yes, the conserve animals is very essential at this moment because as we know the habitat year on year becomes lost because of uh, our activities like illegal logging. So we can conserve the wild animals by like having a zoo and give them the best habitats in and prevent them from the extinction.
I see. And what is your opinion on poaching?
Sorry, can you explain about the meaning of the poaching?
Poaching means illegal hunting of
Oh,
the wild animals.
uh, as far as I concern, the illegal hunting must be prohibited in our country. So the government must um, provide a regulation for prevent them to hunt our animals in the forest.
All
I
right.
think yeah,
Yes. For example, like what? How can you stop illegal hunting, to be exact?
simple in the Sumatra or other forests, the police must have a patrol the for a jungle.
I see. Last question, Mas Dimas. Do you think money should be spent on protecting wild animals in your country?
Yes, I think money or fund is a major factor to uh, to us to do prevention for animals extinction. Example, if um, the Department of Conservation have some funds from our legislator, we can do some um, activities to prevent animals from extinction, like um, like like make the regulation for illegal logging or hunting, and then fix the habitat so animals can live happily and free. Then make uh, best foods for animals, and then the scientists and can help the scientists to do some research so that the birth of animals can increase.
Thank you so much for your answers, Mas Dimas. That is the end of our simulation today.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about your performance just now, Mas Dimas?
Yeah.
Do you think you deserve 7 for that performance?
I hope.
You hope so? Yes, I
Yeah.
think there are so much good ideas coming from you, Mas Dimas. Especially from the third part. You answer the questions. Your ideas are actually good. It's very logical. It's very constructive, comprehensive. But I don't know why you didn't really show that you're confident enough with your answers. I don't know. It's just your speaking styles, but based on what I listen, uh, from your low volume and from your way to bow and just you're like feeling inferior about your answers. But actually, I feel like that answer was really amazing and it's really constructive, comprehensive, and logical. So I just feel that you just need to speak up more. Just speak louder, and be more confident and firm, and just feel your answer, and then just use your body language, eye contact, and intonation. I think that's how you can convince the examiner that you are really passionate about your answers. So please bring the examiner believe in you. Make the examiner believe in you. Show your confidence, because I think confidence is the key as well. Uh, if you speak too low, it's gonna be boring and sleepy, don't you think? All
Yes.
right. But I think you deserve 7 for this because it's really good. Your fluency, coherence, lexical resource, pronunciation, grammar, it's been improved so well.